Praise the Lord and give all the glory to God. So in this video today we're going to build a nice little box out of some absolutely gorgeous burl maple. Thank you, Brian, for hooking me up with the burl maple. We did a little collab on a project, and in trade for my services he turned me on to some burl maple. You'll see that here in just a minute. Some absolutely gorgeous burl maple, and I got three pieces out of just gorgeous stuff. So I used part of a piece of it for this little box that we're going to build today. So let me know in the comments what you think I should do with the other 2 1/4-ish pieces left that I still have sitting here. I like to build something real nice with it, but I'm kind of running out of ideas on what to make out. So let me know what you think I should do with the box in the comment, or the burl maple in the comments, and see what we could do with the rest of that. Anyway, thanks again to Brian for providing me with the burl maple. Absolutely beautiful stuff. So let's get into this build. Did a job for a guy a little while back, and he's provided the material for the job. It was just some laser engraving that I did for him, and rather than charging him cash for the job, I asked him if he had any more of the burl maple that he made a box for somebody. Won't go into details on that, but I laser engraved the front of the box and the top of the box, and the front was just nice looking maple, a little bit of figure in it. The top panel was burl maple, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. So I asked him if he had any more of that, rather than doing a cash job, do something in trade for the material. So he said he had some more, and when we come to do the swap, this is the material that he brought and gave to me in trade for the work. So these pieces are nice sized. I don't have exact measurements, but they're all 1 1/4 to 1 3/8 thick. So that's what we're going to be working with today. Is we're going to be I'm going to make a little something out of a piece of this, and I'm thinking I want to start with this piece here and work on this one here. Make a little. I'm thinking a little jewelry box out of this here. So this has got the live edge on this side here, and I really hate to do away with the live edge because I really like live edge on stuff. But I think for the box I want to build, it's going to be a fairly narrow box, shallow box, about 3 or 4 inches tall. Now I got this piece down here that I'm going to have to take out, so I'm going to rip about 1 inch off this side and then cut in about here and try to save a strip through this whole thing so I can get the fronts and backs, or the front, back, and 2 end pieces off this, and then I'll take it to the bandsaw and rip it down here and get it down to probably that 3/8 inch thick area. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with this so we can get this stuff out the way so I can get this to the table saw and into the bandsaw. setup blocks here in this little case, little cheap ones off of Amazon. Set the blade off of these for 7/32 deep cut and 1/4 inch off of the fence, so all my cuts should be identical. That's a pretty good fit. That's a pretty good fit right there. Slides in there nice and neat, so I'm going to cut the rest of them at that. So. So now I want to verify that both ends are exactly the same length. And square. So it looks like this one here is just a little bit longer, so I need to trim a little bit off on that one. And we'll do the same thing with these until we get them perfectly aligned to the same length. And those are perfect. This one needs to trim just a little bit off. Yep, that's good. All right. So now we need to find some material for the top and the bottom. All right, so I found this panel that I'd glued up for a jewelry box that I made a little while ago. You might remember that one with all the flowers all over it for customer. So this has got some really nice spalting in it, but first of all, it's too thick, so I need to shave it down, and I need 4.5 by 9.5 for the top and bottom both. So just going to rip just this side of the glue line here. That'll leave me a 4.5 piece over here for the bottom, and I'll use this nice spalted piece up on the top. So we're going to put that together after I get all these cut down, and see how it looks when I try to get it put together. If I like it, then we'll glue it up. Alright, so that's what she looks like before I glue it up. Put the top on it. I like it. It's pretty. I like the top on here, but to me it's missing something. It's lacking something, so I'm going to try something a little bit different. Hold on a minute. Alright, so I took the spalted maple out and put a piece of black walnut in there. Took a little time, trimmed it down, and got it to fit the right size. Fits super nice, and I think I'm going to like that contrast with that bird's eye maple a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and get this glued up. If I can get my corners to match up, that would be great. I think they'll come in pretty good with the clamps on them. Get this glued up, and then we'll work on trying to get the top cut off and hinges on it, and yeah, let's do that. A quick tip, while you got it all up like this, now is a good time to put your painter's tape on the corners there, so that everything is, all you got to do is unfold it, lay it down, put your glue in the seams, and hold it back together. So that's what I did, is I just put tape on 3 corners. When I get this corner back together with the glue on it, then I'll put tape on it. So yeah. Another piece on each corner real quick, just to hold it together real good. And for fun, before I put the glue in this, I'm going to give this a real quick sand and over on both sides. This is still kind of rough from going through the big drum sander, so I'm going to do that real quick before I come back and glue this together. Alright, so I got this sanded down pretty good, and I was thinking about it while I was doing the sanding on this. It didn't take very long. But anyway, I was thinking I want to put another detail on this. I want to take and put a little chamfer on the top edge, right above the top of the panel here. So I'm going to set up the table saw. I'm going to put a chamfer on the top edge of this, just above that. So hold on just a second, I'll get set up. Alright, so I got the blade set 45 degrees, and I got set up just to take just a little chamfer right on top of all that. So let's do this. Yeah, I think that adds a nice bit of character to it with that little bit of chamfer on there. Just adds a little something different to it. So I think we'll go ahead and glue that up. See, I don't know if you can really make it out on the camera or not, but looks pretty good from here though. So let's go ahead and glue this up. Back to putting tape back on again. too much glue. Better too much than not enough, for sure. Yes, that's what the apron is for, wiping off the glue. Alright, got it all together there. Put a little wrap of tape on that, and we'll give it a hour or so to set up. And then we'll do a little more work on it. Looks like all those seams are going to come together really nice. Alright, so this has been glued up for about an hour, hour and a half now. I'm going to take it out of the clamps, take a look at it. I did put the strap clamp on it after I turned off the camera and made sure it was all nice and square and everything. So you gotta make sure your boxes are square. See how it looks without the tape on it. Looks pretty good. The glue here is still just a little bit tacky on the outside, so I'm going to let it sit for another hour before I try to do anything else with it. Alright, so I got it sanded down to 240 grit. Feels real nice. Corners come out super clean. Pretty happy with that. I still think it's missing a little something for character though, so I think I'm going to put some splines in the corner here. So I got the spline jig set up, so we're going to move over to the table saw and cut some splines in this thing. Alright, so I got the corners all done and cleaned up, sanded down, looking pretty good. So the next step I got to do is separate the top from the bottom of the box. So I'm going to cut 1 inch off to take the top off of there. That'll leave a nice top for it. So I'm going to set this over at 1 inch. Actually, I need to set the saw height before I set this over here for the blade. And I want to go just less than the thickness of the box, and I'll finish the cut with the Japanese saw. That'll leave us just a little bit of a So you can see that I've got just a little bit of a skin left in there holding it together. So I'm just going to take this is Suizan. I don't speak Japanese, so the Japanese pull saw. And I'm just going to come down in here. I'm going to cut right along the bottom of the lid itself. On through there. Through there. One more side. Alright, so I got a little skin right here. I'll take that down with the sander, just flush it up with the sander real quick. I use the sander for a lot of that kind of stuff, so I'll clean this up with the sander real quick and we'll be back. These are the little hinges that I'm going to use. They're little tiny hinges. Little, yeah, not very good hinges, but my focus is not very good in my camera either, so. Hopefully that works. Alright, let's see if I put that on there, how well this fits on top. Alright, let's go put it together. Alright, so I got the hinge ready. I'm going to make a little mark here with the inset tool, little dimple here. These screws are little itty bitty things. I'm going to do a little pilot hole because me and little screws do not get along real well with my old hands. So hinges are on, finally. That was a battle. My hands don't work as well as they used to, and I did not know when I started this that I needed to cut a 45-degree on both top and bottom so that they have room to open and close. So I had to take that to the table saw and cut a little 45-degree on the bottom of it. So, yeah. What else? With the alignment on these, when I got done off there, and it's still just a little bit off, but you know what? Where do you draw the line on getting overly crazy about it? So I did have to take the sander to both sides and the front here to make it where it was somewhat tolerable to have the alignment back to where it should be. I didn't worry about the back too much because, you know, it's the back and nobody's ever really going to see it once it's sitting on a stand or wherever it's going to go. So I guess the next thing I need to do is to go put a finish on this, and I'm not really sure what that's going to look like yet, so let me go figure that out and we'll go put a finish on this. Alright, so we're ready to start doing the finish, and we're going to use a polyurethane fast drying, polyurethane, semi-gloss clear as a warm semi-gloss. So we're going to go with this and see how it turns out. I'll bring you in here a little bit, and I'm going to do probably 3 coats on this. I'm probably only going to film the first coat going on. Start out with some thin coats. That looks pretty good. That is absolutely gorgeous. that dry for about 4 or 5 hours. That's going to be a pretty box. Well, there it is. I think this little box turned out absolutely amazing. Absolutely gorgeous burl maple. And thanks again to Brian for turning me on and hooking me up with this burl maple on a project that we kind of worked a little bit together on. I did some work for him, and he gave me the burl maple in exchange. You know, it's not always all about making money. It's making connections and making friends. So Brian's not only just a customer, but he's a friend. We've made a little bit of a connection. He's a great guy. Him and his wife both watch the channel together, and just all around good people. So thanks again to Brian for hooking me up with the burl maple. I think this box turned out absolutely gorgeous. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you then.